There is a real dilemma coming up, and it's kind of fascinating. And I want to talk about this for a few minutes because it's something I've made some calls on. I've talked to people about. I've talked to people I trust. And it can be confusing. In football, you got to be careful of falling for the hot thing. A lot of people fell for Tebow. I said, no. A lot of people fall, hey, Mitch Trubisky, this college RPO. No. That's not what wins in this league. Go look at the last 30 winning Super Bowl quarterbacks. It's mostly Hall of Fame guys who can throw from the pocket and can't run. There's a dilemma in Philadelphia. They can't pay Carson Wentz and Nick Foles next year, and they're going to have to pay both. Wentz is better than Foles. He's a bigger player. He's a better arm. He's more of an athlete. He's absolutely a better quarterback talent. But Foles keeps winning. Foles is 4-0 in the playoffs. Foles has a Super Bowl. Foles is 11-2. And this is what it comes down to. This is something that with every gift the man upstairs gives you, there's a burden. Every guy would like to be a little taller. Every guy would like to be a little it'd be nice. I'm 6'2". I'd love to be 6'4". I'd love to be 6'5". Just a little taller. I could. But there's a burden with being that tall. Try traveling on a commercial airline. Try finding shoes and clothes when you're 6'7". Those NBA guys can shop in about 3 places in America. It's almost biblical. If the man upstairs gives you a gift, my friends, you will use it. People that sing in the shower do because it sounds good. The man upstairs gave him a voice, he or she. The man upstairs gave Carson Wentz and very few others on the planet all the gifts. Carson Wentz is 6'5", 235, A+. His arm is a rocket A+. His mobility is an A+. Cam Newton, Carson Wentz, and Aaron Rodgers are absurdly gifted by any historic quarterback standard. And when you're given those gifts, you're a little less patient in the pocket. You'll just go out and run. You're slightly harder to coach. Sometimes you've got this, hey, I got it mentality. We've seen it with Rodgers. We've seen it with Cam. And it's why Carson Wentz keeps getting hurt. This is not to say Carson Wentz is difficult to coach, but Nick Foles is easier because Nick Foles is limited. He's not a great athlete. He doesn't have a rocket arm. He's not very mobile. He accepts coaching because he has to. He's more patient in the pocket because he has to be. He's better pre-snap at this point between the two because he has to be. The 2 best pre-snap quarterbacks in my life are Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They had to be. They weren't great athletes. When the man upstairs gives you gifts, you will use them. That is the burden of being Cam and the burden of being Aaron Rodgers and the burden of being John Elway. And that is the burden of having Terry Bradshaw's arm. You're going to try to throw it through a keyhole from 38 yards. Alex Smith never does. Nick Foles is not more talented. Carson Wentz is your future. But when you watch the Eagles play and Nick Foles throws it, you end up saying this a lot. Wow, what a catch. When Carson Wentz throws it and you watch the Eagles, you end up saying this a lot. Wow, what a throw. This team does feel more like a cohesive team with Nick Foles. And they'll have to figure that out. But as Chris Carter said this morning on First Things First, don't kid yourself. Don't fall for brief lightning in a bottle. Wentz is the decade-long talent going forward.
I'm going to give you your hypothetical situation. He wins the Super Bowl. Okay. And you know what I do? I recoup some of those picks, and I ship him out of town. Because if he does
Nick Foles out of town.
Yes.
Nick Foles. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I get you what you want. I get you some of those picks, and I go with the quarterback that's got the lower cap number and has got a higher ceiling. So if Nick Foles has won you 2 Super Bowls, let me tell you something. He's tapped out. You think he's going to win a 3rd one?
I completely agree. This is football. One of the reasons it's so much better than every other sport. It's complicated. I mean, we know the Warriors are going to win. They got more good players. But football it's tricky. You can have the best defense and not win, and an average defense and win. But boy, it helps if you have a great quarterback. But Dak Prescott wasn't as good as Russell Wilson, and he won. And who's the better quarterback? Tim Tebow looks like, he's not very good. We thought he was really good. And Mark Sanchez looked good, and then he wasn't good. And long-term sustainability, Chris Carter is right. Wentz is the better player. Over time, he'll get better pre-snap. But football is great because there are no easy answers. And Foles and Wentz, it's a dilemma, but Howie Roseman's one of the smartest guys in this league running the Eagles. They will choose Wentz.